Bundy's Garage, Bundy here. Hey, I'm with Chris Nosalek with Electron Automotive in, what is this, Orange, right?
Yep.
Orange, California.
Orange,
California. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I know you have a busy schedule today and just want to sit down with you. Chris had done a video with Chris Fix, right?
Yeah.
I saw Chris Fix's video where he places the battery on a Prius.
Yep.
And,
second generation, 2004, 2009.
Yeah, so I had seen that video, and I'm actually in Riverside, which is 30 minutes from here. Approached Chris and asked him if we could, collaborate on a video together, and he said, "Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it." What got you into this industry? How did you start this business?
So I was going to college for electrical engineering, and I decided to take an automotive class as an elective.
Okay.
Had two awesome teachers really help me out, mentor me, and I took my dad's car apart to do a valve cover gasket. It barely needed it. He was just being gracious, letting me use his car, and I broke something. This little tab that broke ultimately required removal of the engine to repair. So me having absolutely no mechanical skills, I had to remove the engine, take it all apart. While we're in there, we decided, may as well rebuild the head. It had X amount of miles. So we did all that, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot, especially because we did the whole job right. Didn't put the timing together properly. Smashed the valves.
Did you really?
Yeah, had to go in there and do it all again. So it taught me a lot.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
Sucks.
So going to college, I got a job doing, just working on cars at Pep Boys. So I did that while going to school for engineering, and it kind of went from there.
What school did you go to for engineering?
Cal Poly Pomona.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a school maybe 20 minutes away from here.
How long were you at Pep Boys?
I was there for maybe a year or so, and then I was working on cars in my mom's garage, for friends and family, and it took off. I saw it growing. I, got a shop, and it grew from there. With the background in electrical engineering, it really helped me with the hybrids. Everything made so much sense.
What made you decide to specifically focus on hybrid/electric vehicles?
Passion.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy it so much. I like the new technology. Enjoy the clean hands for the most.
I'll put some shots up of his shop. I won't say you can eat off of it, but I've seen a lot of shops, and this is a really good looking shop. And you should see his other place. We'll take a look at that later on, but you painted the floor.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Why do you think they call the Toyota Prius the worst car on the internet?
Stigma. I think society as a whole, as much as we want change, we're resistant to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And electric cars didn't have much of a good reputation in the past because of the lack of the power. Fortunately, Tesla is revolutionizing that. Just made such a monster car.
Have you seen the Fiskars?
Yes, I've been to their factory is not too far from here.
It's in Ontario, isn't it, or no?
Well, they have two. The one that I was at was more the R&D facility.
I bet that was awesome.
Yeah, down in Costa Mesa.
Okay.
The teacher that mentored me at the college actually worked for them. Helped them out a lot with a lot of their electrical systems and such. So
Okay.
he took me over there, walked me through it. It is really impressive what they were doing. It's awesome to see the behind the scenes.
And I know we touched on this a couple of minutes ago. Do you think Tesla's going to make it as a company?
My personal opinion, I really do. They're great business people. They're building a huge infrastructure. They're revolutionizing things. I mean, going from a regular car to a Tesla is like going from a flip phone to an iPhone. It's revolutionary. Best car I've ever had. I still love all the other hybrids, the Priuses, the Volts and stuff, but it's my preference.
Have you seen, what's his name, Rich Rebuilds on YouTube? Have you seen that guy?
Absolutely.
Where he's basically hacking Teslas and trying to get into the systems and trying to rebuild them for people, and Tesla's not being really compliant with him as far as parts or service or technical bulletins or anything like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair, unfair, as far as Tesla holding that information back?
Oh, absolutely unfair. I mean, it's destructive to the free market. They need competition.
Okay.
Just like everyone does. But if you need something like my own Tesla had a problem. My entire screen went blank. Going on the internet, seeing rough prices, Tesla was $2,500 to get it fixed. circuit board smaller than my cell phone, and it brought it back up. Labor took me less than an hour to do.
You did it here in the shop? Mm-hmm. How'd you get the part?
I got it from another one that was crashed. They won't sell anything to me.
Okay, so you had to go
they won't
find...
sell anything. There's very specific parts they won't sell because of safety.
So you had to go find one, crashed one,
Yeah.
eBay?
No, I had a connection.
Okay.
He was able to set me up, told him exactly what was going on, helped me out, and got it going. But I feel they need competition. Bring the prices down. They're refusing to release software so that other people are not able to service it. At least that's my understanding of it.
Just kind of unfair to the market.
Yeah, absolutely. It's monopolized. When something's going wrong, you got to go to Tesla. If they want, $10,000 to fix part A, you don't have any other options. You've got to go with what they say. There are a few people that are rising, like Rich Rebuilds, and I believe there's another guy in Berkeley. I can't remember his name now. They're bringing a lot of attention to it, and I love that. I think the more attention that Tesla gets on it, the more likely they are to open up their software to the general public, shops like us.
Do you see in the future Electron Automotive being a full Tesla shop as well?
I wouldn't full Tesla in regards to specializing on an exclusively. No, service, absolutely.
Okay.
We're already performing a lot of the services now, but we're locked out of a lot of other things because of the lack of software. Anything that requires a firmware update or a reflash, we're not able to do at the moment.
Do you have computers that will talk to it, see it, or?
Yes. Yes.
Maybe not.
Not on the level that I would like. It's very primitive.
Okay.
But yes.
Do Prius, this kind of off the subject, do Priuses and like Honda electric vehicles, do they utilize OBD2?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Their systems are very similar to all the other cars. They have main modules, gateways between them. You retrieve error codes the same way that you do in all other cars.
Does Tesla have OBD2?
Yeah, they have a connector. They communicate through a different connector, or their primary communication through a different one.
Okay.
But yes, they do.
Have you heard that OBD3 is coming out soon?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that for a while.
I've heard 2021, 22.
Okay.
But I don't know anything. There's very, very little information about it on the internet. I've tried looking it up, but I don't know, just...
Yeah, there's been talk about it for a while. I'm always excited for new technology.
You love it or what?
Oh,
embrace it, yeah?
Absolutely, that's what we're all about here, all of the change. It's the carburetors and stuff that I hate, but a lot of that probably has to do with my inability to work on them. So.
The Priuses and the Hondas have a battery pack. Are they relatively the same weight and size? Are they different? Is one bigger than the other one? I'm just thinking of as far as actually how much they weigh.
Okay, weight, absolutely. Honda batteries vary, but I want to say you're looking at around a complete assembly, 60 pounds, give or take.
Okay.
Prius is around 80 pounds, give or take. Toyota Camry, 120. It all has to do with the size of the battery.
So that's a pretty big battery.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're working on one of these things, we could deadlift one, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a pretty big guy. But if you're in the back of a car and it's awkward and you've got very limited room, pulling one of these batteries out, probably the best way to do it is with somebody obviously helping you.
Yeah, we have strategies on how to get it out, where to brace your arms. You always use 2 technicians. We have, I forgot the type of gloves they are, maybe Kevlar, but it's very difficult for them to cut through. The most dangerous things about the Prius batteries are the metal cases. They have sharp edges, burrs, you can get cut easily. It's more dangerous than the high voltage, as silly as that sounds.
Well, there's a lot of, I know we wrote that down, but there's a lot of, I don't know what you want to call it, misinformation about being killed by these batteries?
Absolutely. These batteries, they are dangerous. They do have high voltage, which can hurt you, but they're so simple to deactivate. Once you deactivate it, the chances of getting electrocuted are very, very slim. I have had 0 instances here, and I taught at a college for 5 years, and we had 0 instances there. As long as you're very strict about removing the safety plug, which most batteries, you can't even open them without removing the safety plug. Most cases you'll be just fine. I'm not going to say every case because there's always going to be that one guy out there. Something happens. But I personally personally do not consider them as dangerous as the general public does.
Okay. Even when they're, because at your other shop across the street, there's batteries that were open, the cases were away from them. They're safe in that state as well?
Absolutely. We have a strict rule. Every safety plug comes out of the battery before the battery comes in the facility, and they all go in a bucket. We do have to insert the safety plug during some of our testing process, but the technicians understand the systems very well. They understand potential danger, and they know to remove it as soon as the test has been finished.
Okay. So there's not very much of a risk of killing yourself?
Very little, especially if you follow our procedures.
Are you familiar with Tesla's 18650s?
Yes.
Do you like them? You think it's a good battery?
I mean, I'm generally familiar. I'm not super familiar on like the molecular level. 18650 refers to the dimensions of the battery and the chemistry, being lithium-based, whether it's lithium ion, lithium polymer, lithium iron, all the different types.
What kind of batteries are in these?
These are primarily nickel-based.
They're nickel-based.
They have some options. The plug-in options are lithium-based because you can get more energy in less space for longer range.
On a lithium?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But these ones are nickel-based, nickel metal hydride. They're more bulkier, they're older technology, but they're cheaper. So Tesla's 18650s are batteries, roughly the size of your thumb.
Yeah, like a AA on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. And they're constantly making changes with different chemistries, different electrolytes, and the battery keeps improving. The first Tesla that came out, the Roadster, I think they've improved the capacity somewhere around 40% and in the same exact size. So if you buy a Tesla Roadster battery now from Tesla, you get much more range than the original brand new one. So constantly making improvements, and that's the way that we need to go.
So is the lithium ion better than the nickel batteries?
Yes. In almost all ways, probably the best advantage of the nickel that nickel has over lithium is cost of production. But that's changing.
Is there one that'll take more charges over its lifetime than the other?
Yeah, it all varies by the chemistry. There are some nickel batteries. We've gotten a lot from China for testing that are very similar chemistry to these ones. They just don't last long. Their cycles, life cycles are significantly less than factory. So there's always a quality issue.
And that has to do with the chemistry of the battery.
Absolutely. Lithium has the advantage of much more energy in a smaller space, lighter space.
And that's in most of our cell phones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
Have you seen those guys on YouTube where they're taking old classic cars, say like a Mustang or an old classic truck, and basically stripping the Tesla or whatever, some electric vehicle, and then modifying it to fit into that old classic car? Have you seen them do that at all?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? There's a guy in San Diego, or like Oceanside, I think he's doing. I can't remember. I'll put his name up, but what are your thoughts on that? Is that pretty cool?
Yeah, I love it. My favorite one that I've seen so far is the Tesla setup in the Volkswagen Bug, the old school classic one. Yeah, I love the idea. It's very expensive.
It's really expensive.
Yeah, you don't get the range. You've got to go to someone specialized. Like that's out of our element. If somebody came to us and wanted that done, we wouldn't do it. We couldn't provide the same quality that the others could. But I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. If you've got time and you want to do it by yourself, you can buy kits online.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They're for limited cars. The Bug is one. They have a lot of kits for the Bug.
Okay. I've heard it's somewhere between like $90,000 and $150,000 to convert one of these things.
Yeah, it can be. The big thing is the battery.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want long range, it's expensive. If you want a very good cooling system, it's even more expensive.
Just want to go fast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you think about BMW's electric cars? They're this is the i3, the little boxy looking like smart car one, and then they have the i8.
Right.
I love that car. That car is beautiful.
Yeah, I love the looks of it. From a mechanical or engineering perspective, I know very little. We've had very little experience with them as of 2019, so I can't comment on that part. But I love the body of
the body's sweet.
Yeah, not too sure. I mean, it's the little SUV version. I'm not too fond of that body.
Yeah, it looks like a Look a little bit bigger than a smart car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like can't think of the name of the dog with the squished in face. Pug.
Like a pug. Oh, you think it looks like a pug?
Yeah, the way the front's all condensed. Yeah.
So the major manufacturer for most of these batteries is Panasonic.
Yep. Yeah, Tesla, from the Priuses to the Tesla. There are some other companies that have their hands in the game, but it's very few.
Wow, I didn't know that. Are they all coming out of China, or are they manufactured here in the States?
I'm not sure of their exact production. I know Tesla obviously is doing it here in the States. They just built the Gigafactory. But the other ones, I'm not too sure. Tesla has a factory for manufacturing their batteries to bring the cost of production down to offer cheaper.
And he is spending so much money.
Yeah.
But he's got investors back him.
I don't think he's running it as much as people think. He's got a lot of brilliant business people helping him out.
Okay.
He's an engineer like myself. I hate to compare him to me because I think he might be doing a little better than I am. But what I've learned with growing this business and such is business is a totally different field than engineering. For him to be doing what he's doing, I think he's got to have a lot of people helping him out. He's the face.
He's the face of.
That's my thought on it. Yeah, I mean, not to discredit him. I mean, he's brilliant. I mean, just everything, from this old stuff from PayPal down to ludicrous mode. Right.
And if you're watching, Elon, if you want to come on here, we'll totally interview you too. We're here in Orange County.
Well, I'd love to have you here. You would love to see what we can do on Priuses.
The future of this industry. Do you think it's going to be hybrid, gas and electric, or strictly 100% electric?
I think the main transition is going to be to hybrid, because you're always going to have vehicles that are going to need to go long distance. Okay. It's going to be a while before we have the infrastructure set up to charge these vehicles in rapid time. Electric vehicle, I think, is the ultimate goal, but if I had to guess, and I'm not an economist, I'm an engineer and a mechanic, I would say it's going to be 30 years before everything's 100% electric. I'd say at least 30. But I think the hybrids are a huge help. I think especially the Volt. The Volt, you get the best of both worlds. Average commute for someone in California is 32 miles a day. Volt gets 40 miles, so you plug in every day. You drive around in pure electricity. But you want to go on that long road trip, just fill up with gas. That's where I think the main transition is going to be.
Do you think somebody buying a Tesla or any of these cars, do you think they should upgrade their charging system at their house? Because I've seen guys that are trying to charge it off, 120? And obviously you can upgrade them to push more energy into the batteries quicker overnight. If someone's going to strictly go to an all-electric vehicle, should they upgrade their charging system in their house?
There's a lot of contingencies, and it's dependent upon the dynamics of that person's commute. Me personally, I've got a Tesla with roughly 190 mile range, 200 mile. And every day, my charge finishes in an hour when I get home. I got home real late the other night, maybe like 3 in the morning with 20%. I woke up, at the normal time, like 7, and it was almost full. So.
And that's just off of 120?
No, that one's a 40 amp, 220. But off of 120, you get about 4 miles an hour on average.
How does that work? I've heard that term before. How do you break that down?
Think about it this way. If you have a vehicle with a 100-mile range, you're down to 60 miles range, so you need 40 miles. Charge it at 4 miles per hour, 10 hours to get to full. That's on the slowest charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's very easy to bump up your power. To have my electrical run, my panel's on the very opposite side of my house. So to have the electricity run from one side to the other, hook up the Tesla charger, I think it cost $400, something like that. I didn't do it myself. I paid a contractor to do it. So it's not too expensive.
Did you see a big spike in your electric bill?
Yes, I want to say 80% less than my fuel bill. So if I was spending $100 a month on gasoline, now I'm spending $80 in electricity.
So it kind of balances out.
Yeah, there's no savings anymore buying an electric car. The only way, yeah.
Really? Really?
Really, that's a huge
So what is
myth.
it? Is it a status symbol?
No, I think it's myth. I shouldn't say myth. It's something that's stuck around from the last few years. Initially there was, because there was huge incentives. By the way, this doesn't count to people who have solar. People who have solar, they can get free electricity in essence if they've got enough panels to provide their usage. But it's just myth that's stuck around, I think. Initially it was cheaper. Companies gave discounts to people, those that have electric vehicles. Now the electric vehicle plan seems like you're going to get a big discount where you're paying 13 cents a kilowatt, and the electricity company says, okay, at nighttime we'll knock that 13 down to 7, so you charge a lot cheaper. But during the day, we're going to take that 13 and bump it up to 19.
Yeah, that just happened in California.
Yeah, so for me, I personally opted out of the charging cycle because I have my pool and jacuzzi that need to be running during the day. You know, keep things clean. So I'll save money at night, but it's going to cost me more during the day. So
Do you have solar?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I plan to, but I want to do it myself, and that's.
Do you
that's
really?
Oh yeah. It doesn't seem too difficult. The thing that has held me back for so long is pulling the permits to get it on the roof. But fortunately, I've got a friend who's a contractor. We're going to scratch each other's backs. I'm going to help him with his install, and he'll pull the permits. He'll pull the permits for me. I'll do the install. And
All right.
From what I've seen, solar seems very simple. Very, you know, it's not as elaborate as people say.
You see another company starting? You're going to start another company installing solar?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I love the idea. My passion's not there though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Passion's here, huh? With the batteries.
absolutely, absolutely. The
He's got some
electric
cool
vehicles.
stuff we're going to show you in a second here. How can you tell when the battery's bad?
Is that this question? Or?
No, I'm just wondering because you're.
Oh,
You think,
different
oh, it's a
car-
battery, and
Yeah, different cars, different ways. Sometimes, if you're lucky, the computer will get it right. Some cars, you actually have to watch data and go through things. But working on these over and over, we've learned all of the little technical things to look for. Because there are tricks. Sometimes, if you run out of gas, you can sometimes set an error code saying bad hybrid battery.
no kidding.
So there's all these little things you got to look out for, specifically Toyotas.
Okay.
Yeah, what happens is the hybrid battery cranks the gasoline engine. That's the starting battery. So when you run out of fuel, the gasoline engine will keep cranking the the electric battery will keep cranking the engine, draining the battery down low and lower and lower. But it's not starting, it's not starting. When the battery gets so low, the computer confuses it for a failed battery and it'll say replace hybrid battery. So if we have an error code in the hybrid system that says replace hybrid battery, we have to go and inspect other systems to be certain that there's not something else creating a false code.
Okay.
There's a huge rumor out there that you can go to AutoZone, they'll plug in the connector and tell you exactly what it is, and it's just not how it is. Yeah, we see that every day.
Really?
Yeah, people all the time, you know, they say, why should we do a diagnosis? The AutoZone already pulled the codes, and 2 out of 3 times is not what they're thinking.
Stinging people.
Yeah, I mean, the people at AutoZone, they're doing the best they can with what they have. The average, you know, employee that's pulling the error codes has little to no mechanical experience. So they're doing exactly what they're told, you know,
Sell that
doing
part.
the best they can.
Yeah, sell that part so the guy can go throw the new part on.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
they're following orders from up top.
What do you think's a better car, the Toyota Prius or the Honda hybrids?
So I'm going to be referring to maybe 2013 and older. The newer ones are still under warranty. We don't have as much experience, so I can't give as good of an answer. But in the older generations, unquestionably, Prius.
Hands down.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Toyota is a great company.
Yeah, yeah.
They are great.
So they're the only ones that are getting hybrids right every time. There are very few that are, maybe not even any, that are lemons, where other companies have specific models that you want to stay away from.
Like who?
Honda.
You want to stay away from Honda?
Yeah, for their older technology, if you're buying older cars. The newer ones, I don't have enough experience to say.
Okay.
But I can comfortably say up until at least 2012, they had a lot of problems with the batteries. Yeah, from our experience, what we've seen is the vehicle kills the battery. So Panasonic produced a great battery for the car, but the car kills the battery under the operating conditions. So Toyota issued a recall, or a TSB, where they reprogram it, and from what I've noticed, and it's all over the internet too, you get decreased power, decreased fuel economy, and you get longer battery life, but that's because it's not relying on the battery as much. So their solution to it was a software fix, and I've never seen a software fix that resolves the mechanical issue. So when people get one with a bad battery, there's 3 routes they go. Scrap it, they buy a cheap battery off of the internet that works, but the car kills it quickly, and you're in a perpetual cycle of whack-a-mole, replacing cells or replacing the battery all in all. The third option is to go with a quality battery, one that's in very good prime condition that can withstand the abuse, not through the 10 years as it was initially rated. It's a shorter time, but you can get up to 6 years out of a quality battery.
Okay. And that has to do with what you're doing across the street, making sure they're all good all together.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into testing the hybrid batteries.
I forget the name you called it.
Matching?
Matching.
Yes.
Matching.
That's the most difficult part of the process. A lot of people see batteries as good and bad. They'll test voltage, capacity, load test, and all those tests come back and they say, I've got a great battery. They put it in. But there's much more to it than that. There's a lot more to the story. There's a lot of other things. We have about 11 different parameters we need to test. And if any one of those are bad, the whole battery is going to go out. It's kind of like somebody who has great vital signs, except their blood pressure is extremely low. They'll go into a coma and die based off of one problem. Same thing with batteries. You got to test all these different things, and if just one of them is out, the whole thing's going to go down.
Yeah, Chris made up the systems for this, the testing device and the software systems to be able to do that, and I don't think anybody else has the technology.
Yeah, not that we've seen. My biggest challenge in the industry has been remanufacturing the hybrid batteries. There's a lot that goes into it, and it took a lot of R&D to finally get it down. Nobody makes proper equipment to thoroughly test the batteries. We had to do all the research, the engineering, the manufacturing our own.
That's amazing, dude.
To have the machines to do it. Yeah, and now that we have it, man, it's so much easier, so much faster, so much more reliable.
Do you see yourself making more machines?
Oh, absolutely. They're in production as we speak. So.
Okay, you're making them right now.
Yeah, I personally am not. I've got other engineers building them and even making better and better revisions. The machines that we're using, we get input from our techs to say, hey, we really love A and B, but C and D are a little difficult. So the next revision, we change things on it.
You just need to come up with a computer that can talk to Tesla vehicles.
Yeah, yeah. Tesla's got a great system to figure it out. They're not concerned with remanufacturing like we are.
Yeah.
I hate to compare myself to them because I feel that they blow me out of the water.
Who knows? They might see this and come talk to us, right?
Yeah.
I was telling my wife, have you seen that little robot, the Honda Osmo?
Yes.
So I'm like, when that hits the market, babe, I'm gonna buy one. And then whenever they start failing, I'm going to be the junkyard for Honda Osmos.
There we go.
He's like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, so what? Or I always wanted to start like like a high-end junkyard, like Ferraris or crashed Maseratis or Bugattis. I'd be the guy with the headlight that needed for that, for that specific vehicle.
Yeah.
Is a common lifespan for a Toyota battery about 6 years?
No, Toyota, referring to the nickel-based battery, not the lithium. Lithium are primarily the plug-ins. It's, I want to say, on average, 11, 12 years.
Really?
Yeah, there are a lot of other variables that can lead to premature failure. For example, we've seen taxi cab batteries kill brand new batteries in less than 2 years. But on the opposite end, we have clients that are couriers and they deliver subpoenas to, it's Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, and California. So they're on the road with these cars 24/7, on the freeway cruising 80 miles an hour, barely using the battery, get over 400,000 miles on a battery. Another extreme example is the typical old lady that only drives to church in the grocery store.
Old lady in Pasadena.
Yeah, so she's not going to put many miles, but since she's preserved it so well, driven it frequently and driven it little, the batteries will end up going 15, 16 years.
So why do you think that is? Why do you think short drives like a taxi cab wipes out a battery as opposed to taking those long trips to other states?
Well, taxi cabs are running almost 24/7.
Okay.
The taxi cab companies, how the majority of them work, at least the ones that we're familiar with, they have these cars running 24/7. They get a van with 8 drivers and they go to each taxi, switch out the driver from the car, keep that car going. It almost never turns off. The taxi cabs aren't always short, simple drives. Sometimes they're long. They're also sitting there waiting for their next client to come, where the battery's charging up and down because the AC is on, which is damaging the battery without putting miles on it. So it's, yeah, that's why you've got to have mileage constraints on batteries for warranties. An analogy with the cell phone is you leave it on, plugged in charging, and running your music and video or something that pulls
Every single app you have on the phone.
Yeah, so the battery throughout the day, instead of consuming 3,000 milliamps, because you're doing so much, it's going to consume 6,000. But you're pumping it back in, you're cycling the battery up and down. Engines wear out from friction. Batteries, for the most part, wear out from being cycled up and down. The more energy that they have to take in and put out, the sooner the closer they get to the end of their life. The ideal way to preserve a battery as long as possible is to drive it frequently, because you want to stimulate the battery and you want to drive it at a constant speed, so the battery is not pushing power out or sucking it back in. It'll stay at a roughly static charge.
Okay.
But that's not realistic. Very few people fit into those parameters. The people that do are the people doing long drives.
So if you want to save your Prius battery or a hybrid battery, take long trips.
Yes. Exactly.
So on Chris's video on his changing out the Prius battery, I'll put a link in the description below, a guy named Indrid Cole, nice reference to Mothman, asks, he got in there and he saw a bunch of sticky syrup stuff and he's like, is my battery leaking? Probably not, right?
Right. With our experience with the thousands of batteries that we've replaced, remanufactured, I've never found anything like that other than soda. Some people spill soda, it goes into the cracks, and they don't clean it up, so it evaporates and all you're left with is the syrup.
That's syrup.
Inside of the batteries, the only liquid is the electrolyte, and it looks just like water. And I think he would have elaborated on what it looked like if it was battery acid, because the acid eats the galvanization off of the metal and causes a lot of discoloration and even growth sometimes.
Even what?
Growth.
Growth.
Yeah, you'll start to see it kind of look like corrosion on battery terminals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, like
in his situation,
a mushroom or
soda.
something.
A mushroom?
Yeah, like growth. Like,
Oh, no. Okay. No mushrooms grown in the batteries.
if you cut a battery open, like would anything come out?
Yeah, at first, the initial puncture you're going to get, because they're all under pressure, unless you bring it down to a cold temperature. But on the inside, I mean, you open it up, you're not going to learn anything by looking at it. It just looks like the Prius one is just metal plates with liquid. The liquid is an acid. When it's gotten on our rags and stuff, it'll discolor them and even eat holes through them. So it's
It's
caustic.
like a standard regular 12-volt battery
Yeah.
in the car.
Yeah, just like a lead acid battery.
Anything you want to interject? Anything you want to tell people about yourself? Or
I love
company?
the question about the dealer. That's a big one that we get. Why would people choose us over the dealer? And the number one reason is the service, how we take care of you, our clients.
what sets you apart?
First, gosh, this isn't speaking for all dealerships, but from the majority of dealerships that I've been to, seen, and heard stories of. Sets us apart is service. Very personable. You call, you talk with either myself, Tyler, or Joe. We tell you what's going on with your car, exactly. We send you pictures, we send you videos straight to your cell phone. You make your own decision on what you'd like to do. Okay. We just inform you of the problems your car has, and then you decide. There's no pressure. There's not a single person here on commission. So whether you choose to do, $10,000 in work or you just do an oil change, doesn't make a difference to them. Whereas most dealerships, the technicians are under incentive. Oh, yeah. So the more they sell you, the more they make. And we commonly see people get quoted different prices for same things. I mean, we've seen hybrid batteries sell from the dealership as low as $2,500, as high as $5,000 from the same dealership.
No.
Mm-hmm. We have
same exact battery?
Same exact battery.
Oh.
We've got copies of the invoices and all. So here, there's none of that.
What dealership is that?
I don't want to.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'd be happy to show you the invoice, but.
So yeah, I mean, he's here in Orange County, California. Chris, Electron Automotive. Anything you won't work on? I mean, Hondas, Toyotas, obviously Teslas. If someone has a BMW out there, do you want to take a look at it for them? Yeah,
we service everything here.
Okay.
We even do regular cars, but almost all of our clients that bring us regular cars are those who have hybrids. They say, hey, I'd love for you to work on my wife's car, but she's got a Ford Explorer.
Okay.
So we take care of those for them.
Okay.
But easily 80% of our work is hybrids.
If you guys are going to call and get work done, tell them you saw them on Bundy's Garage.
Absolutely.
And let's go take a look at your battery shop.
Let's go.
Chris, thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, John.